Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quick update video and follow up what we've been up to lately at Northwoods Acres. We've had a quite busy week here. We're still getting moved into our place. It was actually my birthday early this week actually, and so we celebrated my birthday, and my wife bought me a chainsaw, which is going to be really awesome. It's a Pullin Pro 50cc 20-inch bar. So mid-grade chainsaw. You know, I'm not a professional logger or anything, but it's a decent chainsaw from what I understand. It's the first chainsaw I ever owned as well, so I'm looking forward to using that. Of course, kids dressed up in costumes and went to a local school to go trick-or-treating this past week as well, so they did that. And then we've been getting snow every few days here, and then it's been melting, and then we get more snow. So I actually discussed it with Jessica, and I was all gung-ho about just shoveling the driveway. She was not so much. So we ended up going out, finding a snowblower on Craigslist, and we bought it. So I am going to go pick that snowblower up later and then make sure everything works. She looked at it yesterday. It looked like it was in good condition. It seemed like a good deal, but she couldn't get it on the trailer because she couldn't load the trailer onto the car. I had parked the trailer in our barn, and rather than backing it in like I normally do, I kind of did this goofy turn in the barn and ended up putting the trailer in a really weird position that made it impossible without pulling it to get it out. So she didn't want to deal with that. It was snowing yesterday, and I was not at home yesterday, so it was a good opportunity for her to go and look at it. She paid for it already. It's just somebody not that far from us down the road, and then she tasked me with the duty of going to pick it up today. So I will be doing that later, and then we'll be all set for potentially bigger snows down the road. We also loaded up a bunch of leaves. I had mowed them into piles before. I just go in basically in circles around the yard, getting smaller and smaller, and just making big piles of leaves all over with the lawnmower. I made a bunch of piles, and then we left them there, and then it snowed on the piles. Well, the other day, the snow had melted just enough that we thought, well, we should get these piles taken care of. So we drove the car out into the areas where we had big piles of leaves, and the two older kids and I loaded them into a trailer, and then we drove them over to our new garden plot, and we dumped the leaves there. There's a concept called leaf mold. It's not a gross substance. Instead, it's essentially composting leaves, but a compost is made of two or more things. A leaf mold is just decomposing leaves, and it works really good for putting nutrients back in the soil. There is another YouTuber, and I'll try to link below, Praxis 5 something. Anyway, really good channel, and he explains how when you take the leaves and you put them in your soil, the worms love it, but those leaves come from trees, and trees have much deeper roots than most perennial plants or annual plants that you would find in your garden, and so they're actually pulling nutrients and minerals from way down in the soil, and by composting those leaves, it's highly beneficial for rejuvenating your soil. I've put leaves in my soil before. and we've just mixed them in with a shovel. This time we're planning on tilling them in. I may let them just rot in a pile over the winter and then in the spring till them in. But it's really beneficial for the garden. I feel like not only does it bring in nutrients, but it also helps, depending on your soil type, it helps it maintain the moisture better. And then what we'll do is we'll also put grass clipping across the top after we plant stuff, and that'll keep weeds down and also help retain moisture. It ends up being a really good system for your garden, and it seems to help things grow fairly well. So I will be doing that. Right now we just have massive leaf piles in the garden. And anything else that we've been doing, I can't think of anything offhand, but we're getting ready for winter. Winter's coming really soon now. We've already got a couple snowfalls here and there. I've been researching electric fences, perimeter fences, possibly barbed wire fence. We might do barbed wire perimeter and then electric inside. Oh, also, we have a huge pond on our property, and we have a fish farm that rents out the pond to stock with bait. So I got to meet the guy who owns and maintains the fish farm, and really nice guy, and we're going to continue doing that. When we bought the property, the former owner said, well, you can cancel it if you want, or you can keep going. It's kind of up to you. And so at the time we were like, well, we don't really know. But we had, one of my biggest concerns was we are planning on possibly getting cattle at some point, and I didn't know what sort of effect that would have on his fish operation, and if he would have a problem with that. It turns out there's a symbiotic relationship between cattle and ponds and the fish that live in the ponds, and as the guy explained it, the manure from the pond, or the manure that runs off and gets into the pond, it actually gets filtered through some other plants and stuff, but it ends up increasing the nitrogen levels a little bit. We're not talking about like a feedlot where you've got tons of manure, but it ends up increasing the nitrogen levels, and then it also increases some of the other levels of important nutrients, and that helps feed the plankton, the phytoplankton in the water, and the zooplankton eat the phytoplankton, and then the chubs or suckers eat those. And so he's seen more success in ponds that have cattle around them. So he said, oh yeah, by all means go for it. And I said, okay, well, it might be a year or two before we get that figured out, but we have to figure out fencing situations and other things. So we had a nice conversation about that, and gave me some ideas. I was concerned about how I was going to do water for the cattle in the winter. He knew a lot about what the former owner of the property did as far as water for his cattle, and it turns out they use the pond for water. So I have a much clearer picture of what we're going to do, and we're going to keep the bait fish farm operation going. We're not going to cancel the contract for that. And overall, I think, things have been going good. We're just trucking along, and Northwoods Acres is continuing to get established. And that's the important thing right now. We also have the possibility of in the spring planting some various fruit trees. There is a county program. A lot of counties have a tree program, and so in this case our county is no exception. So they have trees available for us to plant, or berry bushes and different things. So I have signed up for the email list. I should be getting an email in December, so I can start to order in batches of 25, possibly blueberries or other types of berries that we can plant along the perimeter of our property and use to feed, as an attractant for animals, and also for us to eat and harvest ourselves. But other than that, yeah, we've just been trucking along, and We look forward to making some more videos soon, some more interactive videos. It's been really dark and I've been getting home super late, so I'm actually doing this during the day while I'm away from the property. I do have an outside job, so I'm just doing this while I have a chance out here. So we do have some footage that we filmed. We'll be posting videos at some point of some of the other activities we've been doing.
Be sure to like and subscribe to watch more videos.